It's perfectly fine to not want to be with someone that has had an extremely promiscuous past. I've heard so many stories of folks finding out sometime in their relationship of their partner's sexual past and then getting turned off from their partner. In a lot of cases, the person that wants to leave the relationship because of the very high body count gets shamed for not wanting to stick around, but that is their right if they want to end the relationship for that reason. If you can decide to sleep with anyone you want, then why can't I decide to be in a relationship with whoever I want? Edit. If anyone's curious, I'm a female as well. I feel like this post applies to both genders. Edit 2. I appreciate seeing all of the different opinions on this comment section. Thanks for giving me new perspective and thanks for all of the awards and upvotes. An ex of mine told me that they had been with over 100 partners about 6 months into our relationship. We were only 26 years old. I didn't know it at the time, but there were a lot of mental health and insecurities issues surrounding that. It took me years to stop shaming myself for not being thrilled to learn this. I've met women that are turned off by men with high body counts. It's not just men that take issue with it. Any reason to break up with someone is fine. If you want to break up, you should, no matter if the reason is stupid. The relationship isn't going to work out if the other person doesn't want to be in it. Edit, spelling. Edit 2, my point was that if something bothers you enough that you genuinely want to break up, you should, even if the thing is really stupid or silly. Not that you should break up the moment your partner does something you don't like. I was hoping that would be clear. I agree. People have their own values and expectations in relationships, and if someone doesn't fit yours, then I would think it's okay to break up with them. I personally don't want to date someone who has slept around a lot. Anyone has a right to decline a relationship for any reason. Full stop. You're not entitled to a relationship with someone. I get this, Fr. Nobody wants to feel like another person on their list. I think it's fine as long as it's not some kind of double standard. Like, I can't be with you because you have X amount of X's, but you're an asshole for not wanting to be with me for the same number of X's. You should be allowed to leave a relationship for any reason. Be it that you find out they are Nazi sympathizers or you just don't like the way they sneeze. Nobody should be shamed for leaving a relationship. Yeah, the second I hear a guy has a high body count, he turns me off. Just suggests to me they're sex obsessed, have this view that it makes them more of a man, and doesn't value sex. Not for me. Of course it's their choice. But people are only trying to help the person understand and have some empathy. But yeah, you can literally break up with someone because you feel like it. You have no obligation to date or stay with someone at all. You are free. We were both 21. Was talking for a couple weeks and then got to the body count. She told me her body count on my mouth hit the floor, like, bruh, you're only 21, how have you been with over 50 men? The next day I told her I'm good. You've been with too many men for me. Sorry. You do you. As long as you're not shaming them for it, I agree. Each person values sex differently and a body count helps give you an idea of how that person values sex. Then it's up to you to want to date that person or not based on how their values line up with yours. I'm not much of a casual hookup guy, so I want to be with a woman who also isn't really into casual hookups either. Nothing against women who are into casual hookups, but that's a different value of sex that, to me, is incompatible with my value of sex. I mean, someone like me who is not interested in sex at all would definitely not be compatible with someone who likes sex, so that's an extra good reason to break up with them. I would wanna be sure they are tested, and me for the right reasons. But if they're clean and we're in a happy relationship and I find out he slept a bunch of other women before me, I don't know that I'd really care. As long as we're sexually compatible and are enjoying our sex life, I don't think I'd feel too insecure either. But if I find out he's still sleeping lots other women? Houston, we got a problem, lol. Yeah, as long as you don't have a promiscuous past yourself. There are a lot of men who are hypocrites. Honestly, I don't think this is unpopular unless someone is a hypocrite about it. There are lots of idiots who think that it's okay for them to sleep around in the last, but not okay for their partner to have, like the men who expect their wives to be virgins but aren't themselves. As long as you're on the same page about it, I think level of sexual promiscuity is a very valid thing to consider in a partner. I don't think that your total number is as important as the number you've had in the last few months or couple of years. I've got a higher than average number, somewhere in the 20s, but most of those were in my high school and college years when I would sleep with any girl that said yes. But I've slept with like 3 women in as many years, with close to a year in between each one. So just because someone was promiscuous in their past doesn't mean they are that way presently. Also, it matters more that they are faithful and honest than how many people they have been with. If you care about the person and you want to be with them, then their past shouldn't matter unless they are a serial cheater or rapist. I don't think the number of people someone slept with is important. Some people are promiscuous when they're young. They just want sex without a relationship, and then once they have had their fun they settle down and commit to someone exclusively. Some people are serial monogamists and just end up in shitty relationships with people time and time again. You can't and shouldn't judge someone based on the number of people that they have slept with. You should get to know them and figure out if they are just a very sexually active person but otherwise a normal person, or are they some sort of sexual deviant. Anyone can look bad if you look at select information. But is it really that bad when you fully contextualize that information? As a girl, I agree with you. People say, so you want a virgin. As if being virgin was a bad thing SMH, but in my case, I don't care if the guy I date is a virgin or not. However, in my eyes, there's a big difference between a dude who had sex with his exes and a dude who wants to fuck a random girl he doesn't even know every weekend. Also, this is more of a personal experience, but growing up in 2 different countries and having a lot of friends in both places who were promiscuous, I can say that 98% of them were like that, not because they felt empowered, but because they had many issues and they usually ended up having mental breakdowns about being alone / feeling unloved / having low self-esteem. Days later they start to have ons again, and then the cycle repeats again and again. Maybe I'm generalizing, but even if the person who was / is promiscuous is fine, mentally speaking, it's still obvious that their values wouldn't align with mine. So why should I date them? Like, not everyone has to accept a promiscuous person in their lives if they don't want to.